up? It's Cinema Shogun here, and the missing sub has still not been found at the time of this recording. Now, for those of you all who have not been following this story, a tourist sub that offers tours of the wreckage of the Titanic, it vanished. It went missing. It lost connection while it was descending in the depths of the ocean to explore the Titanic. However, I can confirm that when they were last able to communicate with this sub, they were directly over the wreckage of the Titanic, which is why some experts believe that this submarine may literally be trapped within the Titanic. Yes, I know that sounds horrifying, but there is a big possibility that the submarine got caught, stuck, or trapped within the wreckage of the Titanic. Now, why do people think that this is such a possibility? Well, because things like this have happened before. I want to show you all a news clip from years and years ago when a different sub went to explore the Titanic and almost got caught. Everyone on board almost died because they got caught within the wreckage. I want you all to hit that thumbs up button. It's totally free. You enjoy these videos. I enjoy making them. Hit that thumbs up button. We're going to roll this clip, and then I'll be right back with more.
As we approach the stern of the ship, we're suddenly caught up in a strong underwater current that pushes us towards one of the gigantic 21-ton propellers.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh, look at the size of that thing. Look at the blade, it's still clean, like it's brand new.
But when we try to back out...
Oh boy, I felt a little bit of a boom, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, look at these things.
Oh my god, look at the size of these things.
Oh my gosh, so are we stuck or what?
As this graphic shows, we appear to be somehow wedged beneath the wreck of the stern.
Now, I don't know about you all, but for me personally at this moment, I cannot think of anything more terrifying than this. Being trapped in this little submarine is scary enough, but knowing that you are thousands of feet below the ocean's surface, possibly trapped within a ghost ship, if you will, a sunken ship that claimed the lives of so many people, and now it appears as if it may claim the lives of 5 more in the year 2023, over 100 years after this ship has sunk. Now, I know that in my coverage of this story, sometimes maybe I sound kind of negative or pessimistic, but I feel like I have a duty to be honest and real with my audience. You know, I try not to sugarcoat things much over here on this channel, so if things look bad, I'm going to tell you that they look bad. Don't get me wrong. Fingers crossed. I hope that they're able to find and recover this submarine in time, or this sub in time, but it's not looking good, folks, and that's not just coming from me. The experts are saying the same. I want you all to hear from this guy who has led expeditions down to the Titanic before, because if you think I'm being pessimistic, listen to what he has to say. He basically, at least for me, he killed all hope. But I'm still trying to keep that candle of hope, you know, alive. I'm trying to keep that wick lit. But man, it's not looking good. But let's go ahead and watch what this guy has to say. And then I'll be back to tell you how I feel about his statements.
G. Michael Harris is a Titanic expedition leader and founder of RMS Titanic Inc. All right, so G, you know people that are trapped on this thing?
Yes, unconfirmed reports that there are 3 people on there out of the 5 that one of them used to be one of my sub-pilots, and it's just a sad day for our industry.
I'm so sorry to hear that. the oxygen situation, is there any way to remedy that?
No, we carry O2 bottles with us in the submersible, and you also have CO2 scrubbers. And, you know, the O2 will last longer than your CO2 scrubbers. And if those CO2 scrubbers go, and depending on what actually happened at depth, just not feeling good about it.
All right. What's this thing like to be inside of, and what exactly are you doing when you're going down to the Titanic wreck site?
Well, when we deploy, it's usually a 2.5-hour drop down to the wreck site itself. We go down 3,980 meters, and we spiral down a corkscrew action about 3 degrees per second to land right basically in front of the bow of Titanic. Once we get down there, then we begin our grid searches and our research on, you know, the decay and everything that's going on with Titanic.
What could possibly have happened?
Worst situation is, you know, something happened to the hull, and our fear is that, you know, it imploded at around 3,200 meters.
And is there anything that the U.S. Navy can do right now?
No. I mean, I don't see anything that can happen at this point. I mean, I'm trying to be, you know, somewhat cautious, and, you know, don't want to basically be the naysayer of what's going on. But when you're talking 6,000 pounds per square inch, it is a dangerous environment. More people have been to outer space than to this depth of the ocean. And when you're diving in these situations, you have to cross your T's, dot your I's. You have to do everything absolutely perfect and by the book. And, you know, throw in a bunch of tourists in a new sub that, you know, was just created over the last several years. It's not looking good, Jesse.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us in this tender time, and we're going to be praying for everybody on that sub.
In one of my future videos today, go ahead and hit that notification bell so you know when it's uploaded. I'm going to go over this submarine or this sub a little bit and talk about it, but let's just say it's not built that great. So when I hear that maybe it could have imploded, that does not surprise me. This is a relatively newer vehicle, and from looking at it, it had no business in the water at all. But we're going to get into that in a future video. But yeah, from what he says, it seems like he's already written it off as a loss. It seems like he's already accepted that they're gone. He even says, oh, nope, nothing the Navy can do. You know, and he's pretty blunt about it, more blunt than I've been. But yeah, that's the reality of this situation. When you're that many feet below the ocean's surface, there's not much people can do to save you. And even if they try, they're putting their lives at risk. The last thing that we want to happen right now is they go down there in another sub that has no business being down there, and then we have another crew stuck, or another crew that has to pass away because rich people like exploring the Titanic. It's an all-around messed up situation. I think the more that we look into this, the more that we will find out why this happened, because weather conditions were not great. The vehicle they were in was not great. And, you know, when going down into a place like this, when exploring and doing things like this, offering tourist tickets to do it with you, it's not the most ideal thing. If you could only fit 5 people on board this craft, I think the best thing to do is put 5 people on board the craft that actually know what they're doing. You have to keep in mind that a couple of people on this sub have no idea probably what's going on. They have no idea how to work it, so they're not going to be really any help. I'm almost at a loss for words here because there's not much more that I can really say, although there is a lot of information that I do want to go over in future videos. What I will say is this, that if they're able to somehow find and recover this craft, this will be probably the craziest rescue mission in the history of the world. It will damn sure be the deepest rescue mission ever pulled off. if they are able to do this successfully. But unfortunately, the way it looks right now, they're against a ticking time clock. So the way it looks right now is that even if they somehow find this craft, they probably won't be able to get it out of the water anytime soon. I know that they're working as hard as possible. They're trying to see what equipment they can get into the area in what time, but you have to understand they're out here basically in the middle of the ocean. So even if they want to send a ship with the right equipment to get to the area, it might not make it there in time. And even if it does, we already know from one of the people on board that the weather conditions aren't that great, so they may not be able to do a dive in the first place. So right now, like I told you all last night, to me, I know they're calling this a search and rescue mission. And right now, we know that there's still supposedly oxygen within this sub if it didn't explode. So, there's still a possibility of rescue, but that possibility is slim to none. This is looking more like a search mission. And I can't help but wonder if this will become kind of like the mystery of the Titanic. For years and years and years, the Titanic was like an unsolved mystery. How can we find it? Where is it? And then it was found. This may become the next legend within the Titanic lure, the mystery of where is this sunken sub. But for now, let me know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.